For today's video, I'm here to show you how daily planks and the specific variations helped me achieve a slimmer stomach. Like many clueless fitness newbies, I used to think that performing countless crunches and sit-ups are the key to losing belly fat. Unfortunately, I didn't see the results I wanted. So yes, I do understand your frustration with getting rid of abdominal fat through typical ab exercises like crunches. Fat burning around the waist is difficult, yet this fitness goal remains to be the priority for tons of people. Thankfully, there are specific exercises that can yield greater results when it comes to fat belly reduction. Among those exercises that are found to be highly effective than others is planking. They say planks are effective, but in what way exactly? You'll know the answer to that shortly, and make sure to stick around until the end to also know the do's and don'ts while planking to maximize belly fat loss. Planking on belly fat reduction. Can planking reduce belly fat? The short answer is yes. Planks are great for burning belly fat simply because they engage several muscles at once, thus increasing your metabolic rate and improving your core strength. So when it comes to stimulating the whole body, planking is your guy. But how effective is planking for belly fat? Well, it all boils down to how you do planks. So long as you're doing all the right steps like maintaining a good posture, then there's no reason why you shouldn't be burning calories through planking. This then highlights how important it is to have a proper form or technique when planking, and not just perform it the way you deem it proper. So yes, planking can definitely help you lose belly fat, but technique plays a huge part in that. More on that coming up in a sec. Before we continue, a like would be great. How to do a standard plank. Calorie burning does happen during planking. That said, planking is also just as important, if not more, in strengthening your midsection. And just so you know, a strong midsection can help improve your posture and even alleviate low back pain. Pretty impressive, huh? Now, moving on, here's a detailed guide on how to do a standard plank. First off, decide on a position that lets you extend your entire body length. You can do it on your palms or forearms. An exercise mat is also ideal so you have good padding to get comfortable on all fours. To start, get on the floor on your hands and knees. Next, place your hands directly under your shoulders. Now, step your feet back one at a time. You may have your feet wider than hip distance apart to make it easier for you, or bring them closer if you're up for a challenge. Make sure the top of your head up to your heels are forming a straight line, and keep your gaze down just above your fingertips. At the same time, tighten your abs, quads, and glutes and hold from this point on. Dip through your heels, flex those quads, and just keep things tight. Don't worry if your body starts shaking, as this just shows that your body is rightfully tensed from head to toe. My top planking variations for belly fat. I started at the bottom just like any beginner. Simple exercises like sit-ups were part of my regime. I did standard planks for a few weeks, then added many other variations in the coming weeks. I made sure to get the posture right instead of minding so much about the number of reps. From there, I upscaled each week by incorporating other variations, adding more reps, and having higher durations. As a result, it allowed me to exercise in proper form and build muscle, ultimately reducing my belly fat. Here are the plank variations that were included in my plank workout. Number 1. Side plank. Side planks are a godsend to those who want to lose weight. Not only that, but it's great for fixing bad posture, building a strong core, and improving balance. To do a side plank, start with the original plank position and open up your hips and chest towards your left side to slowly ease into a side plank. Raise your right arm towards the ceiling and let the left palm rest on the floor while supporting the pose. Engage your abdominal muscles and keep your torso straight with no sagging or bending. Hold the position for 15 to 20 seconds. Afterward, rotate back to the original position and then repeat on your other side. Is side plank a bit simpler for you? Then move on to shoulder taps. It's another traditional plank variation, but with an added compound movement. Here's what you need to know about them. Number 2. Plank shoulder taps. The plank shoulder tap is a step up from the side plank. It's a complicated move, meaning the more important it is to maintain a good form throughout. To start, get into a high plank position with your shoulders in line with your wrists and your feet hip-width apart. Keep your spine neutral, neck and back straight, and hips aligned with shoulders. Also, make sure to engage the core and squeeze the glutes. Now, raise your left hand to tap your right shoulder and set it back down. Next, raise your right hand to tap your left shoulder and set it back down. Alternate tapping left and right shoulders. Aim for 15 taps on each side for 3 rounds. Next up is a combination of 2 of the most common exercises, namely plank and jumping jacks, also known as number 3, plank jacks. Plank jacks are excellent core movements. They also come with a bit more difficulty than others by adding a cardio element for increased calorie burn. To do it, go on all fours with your palms shoulder width apart and shoulders aligned directly over your wrists. Next, extend your legs out behind you to get into the plank position. Tuck your pelvis under and ensure your middle back is in a hollow position. Now, keeping your shoulders over your wrists and your abs drawn in, jump your feet out slightly wider than hip distance apart. Jump them back together and repeat the movement. Do 3 to 4 sets of 15 to 20 reps. Speaking of combinations, there's another one that's a mix of forearm plank and push-up. The plank to push-up exercise is perfect for reducing belly fat, but I'll talk more about that coming up. Number 4, plank toe touches. The great thing about plank toe touches is the fact that they double as a compound workout. This plank variation engages as many muscles as possible, but with just a few movements. To do it, start by getting into a straight arm plank position with your feet wider than shoulder width. Keep your back straight and your shoulders, hips, and knees aligned in a straight line. Raise your hips as you lift your right arm and extend to touch your left toes. Do not bend your knees while doing this. Return to the starting position and proceed to the next rep with your left arm reaching and touching your right toes. Aim for 3 to 4 sets of 10 reps on one side before switching to the other. Number 5, walking plank. The walking plank boosts metabolism, allowing you to burn more calories and ultimately cutting down stomach fat. It also works to strengthen the core and the upper and lower muscle groups. To perform a walking plank, start in a plank position with your arms straightened up and hands directly underneath your shoulders. Make sure you're forming a straight line from shoulder to feet. Now, walk your right hand forward as far as possible. Then, bring your left hand to meet it, keeping your hand shoulder width apart. Step your left hand back to start, then your right hand to complete one rep. Aim to do 10 reps to the right, then another 10 reps to the left for 3 to 4 sets. There are multiple ways to get rid of stubborn belly fat. Doing daily planks is one, and so are some lifestyle tweaks like minimizing stress, and I'll get to that further in a bit. Number 6, plank to push-up. To begin, assume a standard plank position with your elbows dropped to the mat. Engage your core to keep your hips as still as possible. Push up onto one hand, placing it where your elbow just was. Push up onto your other hand. You should be at the top of a push-up with your legs extended and engaged behind you. Squeeze your buttocks for stability, then lower back down to your elbows, one arm at a time. Repeat with alternating arms. Change the leading arm to equally distribute the work on both sides. Perform 3 to 4 sets of 3 to 5 reps for each arm. Perhaps my favorite plank variation is the long lever plank. It's essentially a regular plank, but with elbows placed further than normal. Let's get right into it next. Number 7, long lever plank. The long lever plank requires placing your elbows further out to create a long level, adding difficulty. When performing this exercise, you must ensure your hips stay in line with your shoulders. Additionally, you must absolutely keep your core tight and your glutes squeezed. Maintain tension in your abs for the whole duration of the exercise. Aim for 3 to 4 sets of holding the plank for 20 to 30 seconds. Bonus: if you're still watching the video up to this point, then congratulations, because you get to unlock bonus content from me. To get the most out of your plank challenge, learn about the things to do and not to do while planking. Do's and don'ts while planking. Number 1, do keep your abdominal muscles flexed the entire time. Doing so helps you engage those deep abdominal muscles. A proper engagement of the core is great in helping boost your core strength and lose weight. Number 2, do not lower or raise your back. Instead, you must align your shoulder, back, and butt. Also, your toes should be tucked inwards as you lie on your lower body. Lastly, you should not lift your head or dip your back. Number 3, do not push your belly downward. Plank is primarily designed to burn belly fat. As such, lowering your stomach while holding the plank position won't be effective. What you must do instead is to ensure that your stomach is up in the air and your shoulders, back, and butt are aligned. Number 4, do squeeze your glutes while planking. Aside from your abdominal muscles, the plank is an excellent way of engaging your glutes. So squeeze those buttocks and engage as many muscles as possible while doing a plank. Number 5, do not try to hold longer than what your body is capable of. Holding the plank position for too long, say more than 60 seconds, can cause you to lose focus on your abdominal muscles. On the other hand, holding the plank for less than 30 seconds while maintaining the correct posture gives you the best chance to reach your goal. For beginners, the rule of thumb is to do a plank for 20 to 30 seconds for a week with as many reps as you can without compromising your form. Once you feel planking for such a duration has become easier for you, that's the time you should try for 40 to 60 seconds. As you've learned from my experience, planking does wonders in belly fat reduction. But you know what's even more amazing? It's the fact that you can speed up your progress by incorporating certain tips into your routine. Click this video to know what tips I am so confident about.